Which is more important, Jeff? The heart or the friggin' bicep? Last I checked my heart. I need my heart. Coach Greg and Jeff Cavalier put out a video. It's called The Fastest Way to Get Lean from Any Body Fat. And just recently, a TikToker, Tui Hua, well, she was trying to lose weight faster than last time. Fast as possible. Problem is, she went to a fat camp and lost 70 pounds in 2 months, but then she passed away. And so the first thing you need to know is the fastest way is not the best way. In fact, the slower you lose the weight, the more likely you are to keep it off. And so we're going to go through Jeff's video, see if he gives great tips, bad tips, or horrible tips. And so stay tuned to find out.
I can show you a way to get from any of these bodies that you might be in right now to something up here on the top. Fact is, guys, when you follow the right methods, this becomes a lot easier than it has to be.
And so obviously you're a subscriber, you've clicked the bell button, and so you know that to lose weight you need to be in a calorie deficit. And so you either need to move more or eat less. But let's see what Jeff tells us to do.
So let's start at the top, shall we? We're going to start with someone in their high 30s in terms of their body fat percentage.
And the first thing you need to know is this is most likely in the 40s. High 30s, I'm looking at this, and unless the guy's got very lean legs, this ain't no high 30s. The majority of people underestimate how much fat they have to lose by at least 5%. And so if you're thinking you're 35%, well, you're probably 45.
Now, if you allow me to speak in some generalities here, because I don't know exactly who this person is, I know a lot about what they're doing. And it's actually a whole lot of nothing.
And so, Jeff, without seeing anything about this guy, can you actually say that the guy's probably doing a whole lot of nothing? I mean, you see this guy, he's clearly overweight, but why do you assume he's not doing anything? For the most part, people are born overweight or obese, especially those who are morbidly obese, are born with a genetic predisposition to store all this excess body fat. They have more ghrelin, which makes them eat more, and they have more fat cells. And so to simply look at a photo and assume that this guy is lazy, he's not doing anything, that he's eating everything and anything, whenever he wants, well, to me, that is going too far. For example, if you look at Brentley, 459 pounds, you can assume the guy's lazy. Oh, he just eats anything and everything he wants. Yet the guy just recently lost over 100 pounds. He's working out sometimes twice a day. He's in a calorie deficit.
Because this person is likely very inactive. They don't really exercise that much, and if they do, it's not often enough or really at any appreciable level of intensity that would actually deliver some kind of result.
And you actually need to exercise with a high intensity to get an appreciable result? My advice to the majority of people is zone 2 cardio. Not intense interval training, but slow, steady state cardio. And so for this guy, just going for a walk. Imagine trying to go for a run your first day. Hey, I'm going to get in shape. Never walked or run before, and the first day, you go for a 30-minute jog. Does that make sense? Absolutely not.
What they are doing a lot of is eating. And sort of doing and eating whatever the hell they want, whenever they want.
I know people who are shredded that have single-digit body fat, and they themselves eat anything and everything they want. They don't care. They eat cookies, junk, ice cream. They just are naturally lean. While other people with poor genetics, they struggle. You put two people on the exact same diet, one might be 40% body fat and the other single digits.
Don't focus on the extreme just yet, because if this is your goal, that should not be your immediate goal. That's going to set you up for failure.
And so I do agree with Jeff. People have crazy goals. I want to be shredded, single-digit body fat. If you're at 40% body fat right now, your goal should not be to look like Coach Greg or Jeff Cavalier. Remember, halfway there. If you set unrealistic expectations, it's going to be very easy for you to give up. The first time you start being hungry, not having the energy, you might be demotivated, and eventually you just quit. And so remember, as long as you're making improvements, any improvement whatsoever, you're doing good. It's not about being perfect, simply about being better than you are.
First thing you're going to have to do is increase that activity level. But I'm looking for 3 30-minute walks each week.
And so Jeff suggests 3 30-minute walks each week as a person to start with their exercise. Me personally, I suggest to try to do 150 minutes of zone 2 cardio per week. And you might be thinking, yeah, but that's way too much. Remember, if you're very out of shape, going for a very slow walk, that very well could be zone 2 cardio. The first day Brentley went for a walk, do you think he was trying to walk quickly? Or do you think he's taking baby steps? You start slow at a pace that's comfortable for you and simply progressive overload from there. Take your time, move slowly, and if you're getting exhausted or you're sore the next day, you went too hard. Slow it down.
A lot of times people that are in this body type right now are there because they don't just eat a lot, but they also drink. So what I'm recommending is that you cut back in half what you're doing right now.
And the next thing he says, if you're drinking a lot of alcohol, then to simply just cut back. And to me, that makes sense. And I wouldn't just stop at alcohol, I would say for everything. Please use moderation. If you're having a lot of desserts, a lot of dinners, a lot of anything, try to eat a little bit less of it.
I'm not gonna look to change whatever you're eating right now because I know sometimes that can be unsuccessful. All I'm looking to do is just change when you're eating it.
And so I 100% disagree with this point. He says, I don't want you to change what you're eating whatsoever. I just want you to now eat 6 times a day. Well, and for some people, let's say you're eating a lot and you're eating 2 meals a day, he'd suggest now eat less each time, but eat 6 meals a day. To me, that is not good. For many people, the more often you eat, the harder it is to lose weight. And so let's pick the average person, they're eating 3 meals a day. You suddenly eat 6 meals a day. That's now 6 times a day that you're gonna have to put the fork down. Every time you start eating food, you get the taste of it and it can be very difficult to stop. Imagine you open up a bag of chips 6 times and you say to the person, just eat 5 chips. What would be harder? To eat 1 bag of chips, the whole thing once, or to eat 5 chips 6 times a day? And so depending on how you like to eat, I suggest you keep doing it. If you want to eat 6 meals a day, by all means, do it. If you want to eat 2 meals a day, by all means, do that. And so what would I suggest instead of Jeff? Well, Jeff says to keep eating the same way. My suggestion is to make the changes that are sustainable right now. What can you do right now that won't bother you? Can you switch from regular pop to diet pop? Can you switch from high-calorie French toast or pancakes to lower-calorie anabolic French toast or pancakes like found in all of my cookbooks? Simple substitutions from high-calorie condiments to lower-calorie condiments like low-sugar ketchup rather than regular, these can go a long way on making differences in your overall calorie intake.
The second thing now is we do start to focus on some of those specific foods that you're eating. And we gotta make that first pass through, right? The obvious one. Get rid of the shit.
And so Jeff's next suggestion, after you've lost some weight, you're getting used to it a bit, he says to cut out some of the junk. Personally, I don't think you should cut anything out. I think you should just eat it less often. If you suddenly know you can never eat a burger again, you can never have ice cream, you can never have cookies, remember, the diet you will follow is the one that you not only like, but that you love and that you can eat for the rest of your life. My anabolic cookbook has lower calorie, high fiber, high protein substitutions for almost all of your favorite foods. And so you can continue to eat the foods that you love, you just made them lower in calories. And since it's calories in, calories out, that is how you're going to continue to lose weight on your weight loss journey.
What I want you to do is start ingraining the habit of strength training. Start lifting weights 2 times per week in a total body fashion.
Next, his advice is you should probably consider lifting weights because if you don't, you might go from being fat to skinny fat. If you don't lift any weights, you're likely going to lose some muscle on your weight loss journey. And so if you want to look the part of being an athlete, you're going to have to start lifting weights. And his suggestion, twice a week, I 100% agree with this. I feel you should do your entire body twice a week. And you don't start by training very hard. You go easy. Light weights, nothing to failure. Over time, if you're not sore, you progressive overload, you train harder than last time, perhaps with heavier weights, while maintaining proper lifting technique, mind-muscle connection, you only need to lift 2 times a week.
Increase the amount of fiber that you're eating right now, which would come most easily through vegetables, and also make sure that you have protein at every single meal.
Next up, he says you should try to eat a lot more fiber, of which I 100% agree, and that you should eat more protein at every single meal. I don't feel you need to eat protein 6 times a day, although research suggests that there are 5 opportunities for muscle protein synthesis to occur in any given day. I don't think it matters all that much. To me, if you're getting in protein 3 meals a day and you're getting in at least 0.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight, or better still, closer to 1 gram, then that's going to be the easiest way for you to lose weight and to put on muscle. Protein has a greater thermic effect. You're going to burn off more calories while eating protein than other things like carbs and fats. And it's also going to be more satiating. That along with eating more fiber, and you're going to feel more full, more satiated, much easier to stay on your diet. And if you're looking for a quick and easy snack, lots of fiber and protein, low in calories, look no further than the Seco protein bars. Very delicious. You can carry them with you wherever you go, driving the car. There's no reason not to make good, healthy choices during your day. Interested in the protein bars, cookbooks, all that good stuff? Code Greg, 10% off. Click the link in the description.
And the first thing we're gonna have to do to make this transition is you're going to have to increase the amount of weight training that you're doing.
Now, I don't actually agree that you should start upping your weightlifting. I don't think you need to go past 2 days a week. I myself, a professional bodybuilder, I literally only train in the gym 2 or 3 days a week. I personally think you're better off sticking with 2 training sessions per week in the gym with weights and leaving those other days for cardio. Cardio going to have a much greater impact on your ability to burn calories than lifting weights in the gym. Cardio not only burns more calories, but it's going to lower your genetic set point for how much body fat you're going to carry.
The next thing we're going to do, though, is make a compensation in terms of the amount of conditioning that we're doing. We can just cut back one of those days of the long distance conditioning work, that zone 2 cardio.
And so I 100% disagree. He wants you to now cut back on zone 2 cardio. That is the most important thing that you're doing. That is going to improve your heart health. And remember, more important than muscle mass and or strength is your VO2 max. And think of it, if you do less cardio, you're going to become a worse butter burner. Doing more cardio, you become a better butter burner. And so if you're looking for a supplement, the supplement to make the biggest difference in your health, look no further than GO2 Max, the main ingredient NMN, been shown in double-blind, placebo-controlled human studies, not in lab rats, and remember, not the placebo effect, to make a dramatic difference in your cardiovascular ability. Guys, girls that are 40s, 50s, 60s, they proved by 50% in the walking test score. Now, I'm not saying that if you're an athlete that you're going to all of a sudden run 50% further, but it's a huge dramatic change in your ability to perform cardio. And so whether you're a couch potato or you're an elite level athlete, look no further than NMN, the main ingredient in GO2 Max, making a huge difference in your cardio. And of course, code Greg, 10% off. And in case you want to buy my supplements on Amazon, you can, but can't get GO2 Max, banned by the FDA for sale on Amazon, but it's not a drug. Don't be worried. And if you want to watch, if you want to learn more, please go research yourself. I've done a number of videos on this. I can't spend 5 minutes every single video explaining just how effective it really is, but please go into your research and find out for yourself.
And I'm talking about, again, sort of little things, like the choice of condiments that you put on your food. Or Worcestershire sauce, for example, which has a lot fewer calories. You got to make the right choices.
Jeff Dead says, continue to make changes to your diet. The little things make a big difference. Frying your chicken versus boiling it, perhaps using white meat versus dark meat. Just try to make the small changes that you can make that are sustainable.
Finally get into those teen percentages of body fat, but your commitment is going to have to increase here. Specifically, your commitment to weight training. You're going to have to increase this to 5 times a week.
No, you don't need to lift weights 5 days a week. Why are you saying that? Oh, you have to go to 5 days a week or else, No, why don't you do more flippin' cardio? It burns way more calories. Oh, but more muscles, more metabolically active. Yeah, by 6 or 8 calories per pound. Yeah, sure, you burn more calories with more muscle, but you burn way more calories with more cardio. And which is more important, Jeff? The heart or the friggin' bicep? Last I checked my heart. I need my heart. My biceps, it gets smaller. But if my heart sucks, get a heart attack, and you die. We don't want that. Do your freaking cardio.
So not always the low intensity, steady state cardio that we've kind of advocated to this point, but starting to opt for the high intensity interval training, the zone 5 cardio that stresses you at a much higher level.
And so Jeff's next piece of advice, to get down to the teens, like sub 15% body fat, he says you need to do a bunch of zone 5 cardio. The kind you can only sustain for 20 minutes. Zone 5 cardio is anaerobic, without oxygen. It's developing your muscles neurologically. And so you're getting neurological adaptations. You're essentially getting stronger. Now remember, anaerobic without oxygen. How many of you, raise your hands, think you can go for a run for 20 minutes without breathing? You can't. And so if it's anaerobic, you're not able to do it for 20 minutes. Unless you're a well-trained athlete, you do not need zone 5 cardio to improve your cardiovascular fitness. And so rather than giving this kind of advice, I'd rather tell people to just keep doing what they enjoy. If you like your training, then you're going to keep doing it. If you're bored doing zone 2 cardio all the time and you want to do some sprints, some intervals, then by all means, go for it.
That will pay off because it's muscle preserving and it's also in some ways muscle building, especially if you start to introduce sprinting type activities into what you're doing.
And this is actually true. If you don't lift weights, for example, you're a bike rider like Coach Greg, and you're sprinting up hills all the time, do you really think I need to do a bunch of squats and leg presses in order to build muscle in my legs? If you're out there and you're a couch potato and you start riding a bike up a mountain, your legs are going to get bigger. The muscles are going to grow from pushing on the pedals. Think of it. You're lifting weights. You're lifting your 250-pound fat ass up a friggin' hill. You don't think that's work? Of course it is.
And by doing so, we actually have the ability to take this journey even further, not just from the high to the mid-teens, but even further from the teens to the low double.
And so rather than continue to explain what you need to do to get that shredded single-digit body fat, I'm going to stop you right here. I don't even think you should try to get this point unless you're a rare specimen that can handle this both mentally and physically and so on. I don't think you should be striving for single-digit body fat. To me, for most people, it's simply not healthy. And so if that's your goal, go and watch a different video. This is for the majority of people. Most people, 99% of the population, they're not single-digit body fat. And so why should I make a video specific to target that 1% out of 100? As Jeff says, it's not how you train that 1 hour you're training, it's what you're doing for the 23 other hours. You essentially need to be perfect. You need to always watch what you're eating. You need to be doing a ton of cardio. And even if you do everything correctly, you're probably going to have lower levels of testosterone, brain fog, low energy, improper mood, and you just don't feel right. And so if any of these things happen, even if it's at 12%, stop trying to get leaner. You don't need to be perfect. You just need it to be better than you are. And if you've done your best and you don't have any energy anymore, you've gone too far. Remember, 15% body fat for most men, that is ideal. You don't need to get leaner, ending it here. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Don't forget to watch one of the boops and of course, the cookbooks, trade books, coaching plans by me and my team, Circle Diet Book, the Harder Than Last Time clothing line, everything. And if you have no money, head over to my website. First and last name and your email address, you get a free, up to 50-page free diet and training program. So you can do it for free. And if you want to support the channel, of course, you can buy everything and anything that I sell. And of course, don't forget to use code Greg to save 10%. And until next time, I am out.